Hello, this is Professor Bug speaking, and today we'll be discussing Pokemon biology. Recently, in the trailers of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, a Pokemon has created some controversy with its origins. And that Pokemon in question, which we'll be analyzing using biology, is Wiglett. And the topic of today's episode is Convergent versus Divergent evolution. Alright, so we'll start with something we know pretty good, divergent evolution. So a great example of this is actually Diglett's other form. It's a lowland form. So we have to the left, we have Cantonian Diglett, and to the right, we have a lowland Diglett. And I'll explain this using another example, which is Vulpix. So we have Cantonian Vulpix and a lowland Vulpix. Now, divergent evolution is defined as the divergence of a similar species with a common ancestor into two similar species that have adapted to their environments. So notice that when Cantonian Vulpix got turned into a lowland Vulpix, we still call it Vulpix. So it's the same species, meaning that they had previous ancestors connected between them, meaning that they're connected. So adaptations with relation. With Cantonian Vulpix probably adapted to the heat of Kanto, where it lives, whereas a lowland Vulpix adapted to the cold, so we can see that in their environments. So that's a great example of divergent evolution, because they diverged from a common ancestor. That's a great way to remember that. So next up we have divergent evolution in Diglett itself. So Diglett had a common ancestor, which we don't know what it is, and it evolved to either become Cantonian Diglett, which is adapted to dig through softer grounds, or to a lowland Diglett, which has been adapted to its environment that has volcanic rock. So you can see these two environments as well. In Diglett Cave versus Wella Wella Volcano? Question mark? I don't remember. Anyways, so that's divergent evolution. Now on to convergent evolution, where we see Wiglett and Diglett. So I'll be using another example for this as well, and that is Sharpedo and Satitan. So convergent evolution is the convergence of similar traits or adaptations to an environment without relation. So as you can see, we call Sharpedo Sharpedo and Satitan Satitan. They're not like different forms of each other in a way, right? So Sharpedo has common ancestors of its own, and so does Satitan. So these two are not related at all. Actually, the example here, that's a shark, and the shark belongs to fish, and the whale here is a mammal, so they're completely different, not related. Well, not closely related, anywho. So these adaptations were actually for water between these two Pokemon, and the adaptations are fins. I mean, Sharpedo would have a tail if it actually did. Maybe Garchomp if that counts. But the similar trait is fins, and that's used to swim in water. So that's the adaptations for their environment, but they have no relation with each other. And then we come on to Wiglett and Diglett, and so Diglett has its own ancestor, and so does Wiglett, but the common adaptation that they have without sharing ancestry is the adaptation to dig. And so that digging is probably in sand. Aha! So we figured it out. So at the end of the day, Wiglett and Diglett aren't related by species since they share different names, but they have similar structures and appearances because they both adapted their bodies to dig. That's the gag. Alright, class is dismissed. Bye guys.